Dominic, thank you for the very kind introductions. It is indeed a privilege for me to be here and to meet with all of you, the members of FFCT, Friends of Taksin, Friends of Surin, that was mentioned earlier. Surin Pitsuan was a very good friend of mine too. I visited Bangkok a couple of times due to his invitations. I even went to his hometown, Nakhon Sir Tamarat, and spent some times there with his families, and it was a big loss for all of us of his sudden death, and I'm very grateful to be here continuing his relationship with the club, and allow me at this great opportunity to share a few thoughts about ASEAN that was organized, the session that was organized by Dominic and Fuadi. If I may share some points here with regard to challenges, opportunities, and perhaps roads ahead of ASEAN and the shifting of the global world. The world around us is shifting much faster than we have seen in decades, and old certainties are definitely fading. New rivalries are rising, and I believe ASEAN's calling is going deeper than simply hedging between great powers. It is important for ASEAN to anchor the values that should outlast any cycles of competitions. What are they? One is sovereignty, two is human dignity, three is shared prosperity, and four is sustainability. These four values need to be treated more than just words, but these are fixed stars in which countries of ASEAN should navigate. And in times like this, where loudest voices often get more attentions, it is important for ASEAN to make sure that steady progress in achieving those four values is always on the top mind of leadership, because ASEAN was never designed to be simply an arena where major powers outside ASEAN play their contests, but it is a region in which members of ASEAN choose to be the authors of the region's future, not simply audience for someone else's script. So when I speak about sovereignty, I mean every nation can stand tall, that human dignity means every person, from the rice farmers in the rural village to the tech entrepreneurs in the high skyscraper, deserve to be seen and to be heard. And that shared prosperity means everyone finds room to grow, and sustainability means we refuse to mortgage our children's futures for today's convenience. So, ASEAN should be the region where consistency builds confidence, and where neighbors honors their words, where standards are fair, where we can disagree without humiliations, and that our real test for cohesiveness of ASEAN is not in the conference room, but in the daily life. So if ASEAN matters, it means families in ASEAN should feel in their markets, in their job, in the quality of the air they're enjoying. So we think we must make sure that we align to this principle and depend our action on those principles. So what does exactly means? What exactly are we navigating through? Let me speak plainly about the risks that often keep me awake at night. Start with something every family understands: the rising costs of everything. It may seem distant, but this is the reality. When the world fragments, meaning when trade rules, tax standards, and stories of leaders, of narratives goes different directions, it is families that feel the consequences. When trade agreements fail to be achieved, container sits longer, and when technology is not adopting the same standard, compliance costs multiply, and small businesses will experience the pain. I give you one example on the issue of technology. When we have incompatible data rules and payment system across borders, then who pay the biggest cost? It's the smallest players. And startups often face a maze of forms and fees. On the other hand, big platforms can easily adapt and move on. So it is very important that agreement at the international level is achieved, so that we families in these regions able to feel an economy that is better for their day-to-day life. So when we talk about proactive, value-based multi-alignment, it means ASEAN choose principle first, then find partners who respect those principles. We align with principles, not with camps. And those principles were rule of law, equality, sustainability. And this can give us variation of partners, but consistencies in the values. How do we make this work in practice? The doctrines of ASEAN, collectivity, unity, conformity, those are all goods. Consensus should be our green light to start, but it should not be our reason to stand still. When some are ready to move for the common good, they should lead under the ASEAN flags, where others join as capacity to follow. The question should be who can start so these others can follow. Not always about being together, but it's always about who can start early. At times of crisis, there's flood, fire, cyber attacks, tensions at seas, speed becomes compassion. And the citizens of ASEAN deserve a clear and calm ASEAN voice within hours. So we don't need to shout, but we need a steady, we need a timely information and practical support. So here is the balance. We keep big political decisions at consensus level, but we need to let technical expertise align what people feel daily, such as reasonable prices, safer products, faster cross-border connections. So, give you an example. When Fisher sells to more markets, when students pay less for education, people experience that ASEAN is a real convenience, not simply diplomatic talking point. So we measure our success by how much we lift those farthest behind. Support reaches first to those with the least, and this means building capacity before demanding compliance, helping each other develop skills and systems so everyone can walk together. To build trust, it requires transparency. Promise less, deliver more, and show your work. When we fall short, we admit it quickly and fix it faster. Often in politics, in interstate conversation, corrections is often avoided. But underscores of correction is not weakness, it is credibility. So consensus give us the mandate to begin, compassion give us urgency to act, and fairness give us directions, and transparency give us trust. This is how decisive ASEAN leads quietly, steadily, for everyone. So the real test is not in the meeting rooms, but it is in the specific challenge that will be faced by 2030, where our people will judge whether words might match with actions. So now comes the crucial questions. How do we know if this will actually works? By 2030, our ideas must change daily life for ordinary families, or they're just words on paper. If ASEAN is real, families should feel it in calmer seas, in fairer markets, in cheaper remittance, and in steadier employment. Therefore, it is important for us to focus our measurement not by measuring success in the numbers of meetings held, but by the confidence in the kitchen table of every families. On digital issues, for example, growth has to feel fair to be sustainable. We'll champion data protections and open market so corner shop can sell across borders with the same confidence as big tech platform. So simple payments, transparent algorithm, and clear rules can turn any smartphone into passport for enterprise. On labor mobility, for example, a worker's skill should be recognized wherever they earn a living in our region. With portable credentials and basic protections, mobility becomes an opportunity ladder, not a desperate gamble. For supply chain, for example, ASEAN can be a reliable partner that keeps good moving regardless of a political weather. We welcome investment that spread risks and build skills. So one day we can say that made in ASEAN means steady and trusted. Here's the bottom line for 2030. People should feel the difference between calmer seas, fairer digital markets, resilient food system, safer workers' pathway, dependable supply chains. But none of this will happen automatically. It requires all of us to think differently about how we engage with major powers and structures our partnership. So how do we engage? Now it's the point. How do we engage with major powers while staying true to ourselves? As ASEAN is a house with many doors, but the house with the strong walls. We keep our doors open to everyone. The US, China, Japan, India, the EU, Australia. But we enter every conversation with one clear ASEAN postures. Our partners may differ, but our principles don't change. The house stands strong because the walls, water, sovereignty, fairness, sustainability, those never move. This means partnership without dependence. We welcome help that builds capacity, but not vulnerability. And I believe real friends help you to expand your choice, not to limit choices. That's how we tell partners from just seeking leverage, but to be truly partners. So we keep one clear test for every deal that ASEAN is making. Does it increase our freedom to choose? Does it strengthen trustworthy institutions? Does it respect our environment and people? If yes to all three, let's move forward, regardless of who is making the offer. So in practice, with America, for example, we deepen innovation partnership. With China, we expand trade where it makes sense. With Japan and the EU, we advance quality infrastructures. With India and Australia, we grow skills and security cooperations. So different doors, same safeguards, community benefit, local jobs, and fair treatment. And transparency becomes our protections. Open terms, competitive biddings, clear outcomes. Every project must protect our forests and coastlines, respect communities, and create opportunities for small businesses. Growth that destroys our heritage is not progress. It's the other way around. So ASEAN sets the table. We don't pit partners against each other. We invite them to compete, to meet our standards and expectations. And the message is simple. Bring your best idea, honor our values, and let's build something that is lasting. Now, this requires us to be disciplined about measuring progress and holding ourselves accountable for results. So let me close this with the hardest part. How we hold ourselves accountable. Because credibility is not built on speeches, but it is built on what we deliver so that people can actually measure. Let's judge ASEAN not by how many hours it takes us to speak when a crisis hits. Because sometimes when a crisis hits, it takes so long for us to make decisions. So we have to count lives that we protect. We need to make sure that children is safe, and we need to make sure that every community is safe and well protected. So we measure progress by how fast we close gaps, not by how high average can climb. Focus on the standard people live daily. Days cut from customs, minutes saved from one payment, and dangerous medicine caught. Food safety problems can quickly be solved. So when prices drops and services speed up, people of ASEAN will feel that the community is truly providing what is needed in this region. We build trust through transparency, and it means when leaders admit mistakes quickly, fix them faster, and we need to be able to turn skepticism into partnership. Let me then end where I began, with a promise that is less noise, more proof. So we hope by 2030, ASEAN be known not for the eloquence of speeches whenever we have meetings, but for the time we save people, for the lives we protect, and the opportunity we create. We will be principled in our alignment and decisive in our actions. We will choose cooperation over confrontations, values over convenience, and long-term view over quick wins. And as we experienced the past 60 years, unity gives us strength, but it is responsibility that gives us directions. So let's make sure the directions we take is the directions that reflect responsibility that we believe in. In this shifting global order, ASEAN will be both the steady compass our region needs and the strong foundations for our people who deserve this. The choice is ours, and the time is now. So let's build the ASEAN for our children so that they will thank us, that this is a community that we can be proud of. Often in the past 50 years, we said this is the region where peace has always been here. Unfortunately, the past few months, we have seen a situation that is rather different when observers of global stability talk about Asia. There are three regions in Asia that often get attention: East Asia, Southeast Asia, and South Asia. In the East Asia, we have a few countries like China, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, and a community of Taiwan. Imagining peace and stability there is something that is so hard for many of us. There can be stability, but not real peace. In South Asia, the same thing with India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. Tensions has also always been there. But Southeast Asia is an exception. It is in the region where peace, stability has always been present. But in the past few months, tension was there and conflict happens. We're grateful it's been fixed, not completely, but hopefully on the direction of resolutions. But we need to maintain our reputation as a region that is peaceful, a region that is able to maintain stability and able to resolve differences without any arms conflicts. And with that, hopefully, we can build credibility of ASEAN to the world, but also to strengthen cooperation between countries in this region. Let me end it here, and we have more conversation. Thank you.